on. All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am here with Lisa and Linda.
Okay.
I think I should change my name today. So as you've been plowing through the crosses, if you've changed some of the colors, what you might notice is that there's only certain stitches there's only a certain way you can do the stitch with going, like if it's going horizontal or vertical. If you've changed the colors. Sam, I don't think you're going to have this issue because you don't have the blue one, you have the pink one, and I believe your colors are going to be totally fine. But if you change the stitch if you change the stitch, like vertical, the ones that sometimes will show some skin underneath is the vertical and the horizontal. Okay. So if you're working on it and you've changed your colors up, then just make sure that you have a stitch that can cover it unless you don't care about the little bit showing through. I had one and I ended up ripping it out. So, and I figured out what I needed to do and where I needed to be. All right. And everybody's going to go at their own pace, so don't worry about it. Jean, did you get my message?
No.
Okay, so I left you an email saying that I'm going to have Andrea call you to go over every section because Andrea did that colorway and she pulled all of the colors and she's just getting back from vacation. So I told her that she needed to call you.
Okay, that's
okay.
Fine.
So it'll either be today or tomorrow that she does that.
Okay, I think I figured out the cross colors, but the stars.
The cross colors should have been like the two that, yeah. Those would have been the easiest, and then the green background. And honestly, if you don't get it, we did soften some of the colors. So if you don't get it exactly right, it's not going to be a big deal.
Okay.
Okay.
I do have a question about the pattern.
Yes.
Okay, on the sheet you sent us.
Yes, last night.
No, the ones for the.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're doing the diagonals, the canvas looks like it's up and down. When we do the up,
okay, so your canvas is still going to go the same way. And I did that just to show you what it looked like. So your canvas is still going to go the same way. So your canvas, because your canvas doesn't change direction, right?
Right.
Unless you tend to go like this and stuff like that, like me. So when you're doing your vertical, I just turned it because I couldn't get a good demo myself. So you're still going to go, if you're doing a horizontal, you're just going to go straight across like this, and your vertical, you're going to go up and down. I can't see, just up and down.
So you have, Michelle, you have a horizontal and a vertical mixed in those, don't you? Or is it all horizontal or all vertical?
I have, no, this is a horizontal here.
Okay. So the up and down part is also horizontal.
Well, if, you know what? Oh, did it come out horizontal? Nope, this is vertical.
Okay.
Okay, so your vertical, if you're holding your canvas, okay, you're gonna see that this is diagonal. This is diagonal, just going the other way. Vertical and horizontal.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to send you a screenshot of this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do
that would be really helpful, like a close up.
Yeah, I will do that.
Because I chose my rows differently. My rows go down.
And that's totally fine, but I think you have all the colors too, where I only had, and I just went to one color on my crosses. And doing that, there's certain ones I can't do horizontally or vertical because of the color below it.
Well, I haven't gotten to that part. I have spent a lot of time with an enlargement of the chart. I did it in color and then I did it in black and white. And now I'm labeling everything so I know what color
Yep.
went where.
Mhm.
And I found when I did my color photo, my color print, it was easier to match colors than trying to see it on the canvas. So,
Hmm.
I
And
think
you know
I
what?
What?
Jean, I will do
Yeah.
that for you and put it in put it in an email.
Great.
Okay, that will make it really easy for you.
It did.
Yeah.
Something about the way the colors looked,
Mhm.
just, it was easier to match them together, but I've had to write down what
Right.
my crosses are, and so.
Right, and if you start changing up colors, it gets a little bit more tedious and a little bit
Yeah.
more crazy, and I sit there and go,
Yes.
why did I do this? But, okay. So let's go into today's different stitches. I sent you all an email last night.
Yeah.
And the reason why you got it last night is because I was sitting here when I got a phone call from my landscaper telling me he had cut the cable. Okay,
Oh
well, he
my
didn't call
God.
me, he texted me. And when he heard from me, he was not, he delivered a robo internet thing to the house last night.
Wow.
Because I said to him, I go, you just killed me. You just killed me. And I said, every week there's something that goes wrong.
Must have my landscaper.
Every week you break something. I'm done. And so he got, apparently when he came to the house, he was at the house before I got home. And Paul is not as mean as I am. So, but Paul said he wasn't happy with him. So I'm like, well, thank you for not being happy with him. And then a little while later, the doorbell rang and Paul's like, it's your best friend, go hide. And he brought us something to hook up the cable. And I'm like, and I think my frustration was the fact that it's been something every single week. But anyway,
Wow.
so that's why you got it last night and you were kind of going like, what did she do? So the first one you got was a Bargello, which is this stitch right here. Bargellos can have other patterns. Okay, you can create your own. You can go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and it kind of gives itself a wave feel. But there are some that they get more complicated and they're round and things like that. And Bargello can be done in one color or it can be done in several colors. All right, this pattern, you're gonna, when you start, it's always over 2. Okay, this pattern has you going up 2, and then from on the same level, and then on the 3rd stitch, you're gonna drop down 1 stitch and do 1. And then the next stitch, you're gonna drop down and do 2. And then you're gonna work yourself back up. So in the end, what it's gonna look like is, where's her regular Bargello? This one here, this is actually, once you get the rhythm of this, it's actually a really neat stitch. And there isn't, it's this one here. And there is not a lot, can you see it?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And there's not a lot of compensating, which makes it a
Okay.
wonderful stitch. The other way we've done it is this one here. And that was done in 3 colors.
Love that too.
So, and really, the blue people, you could take a seafoam, a blue, and a yellow or a green and put it all together. It'd be pretty cool. It doesn't matter what colors you use. So basically what she did is one row was one color, the second row was another color, the third row was another color, and then you repeat.
So you don't do all one color at the same.
Well, you
Okay.
can,
Which
because
one?
there's two different ways.
Which were the two you were?
So this is the one with all the colors.
Yeah.
And then this is the one with the single color.
Hmm.
Okay,
And this one covers really well. So if
It
you are
covers-
changing a color,
it covers
this is a
very
good
well.
one to use.
Would
And
it
you
be
can
good
use
for-
it in any one, what?
Would it be good for a background?
Absolutely. Absolutely, especially if the background has waves or something like that.
No, it's just plain.
Yeah, but absolutely. I used it on, I did a manatee by Charlie Harper. And I used it in the manatee's belly with straw silk. So just to give some dimension. But once you get the rhythm of it, it's a really neat stitch. And you can play with it. You can go 2, 2, your pattern can be 2, 2, 2, 2, and just go, but you want to make sure that, and I will demonstrate this for you again on a tutorial. You want to make sure that after you've set up your, when you're setting up your pattern, if you're going 2, 1, 2, 1, that you're dropping your stitch where you need to drop it and then raising it where you need to raise it. And in my tutorial, what I'll do is I'll do an entire row. So you can see where I'm dropping and see where I'm raising. But yes, this is a great stitch for a background. And it's quick.
I got turtles from you last fall.
Perfect.
And I was thinking that would be like the ocean.
Perfect. And did you get the turtles? Was it, which turtles was it? Was the flag or was it the turtles First Dance by Susan Roberts?
There's 3 turtles on it. I mean,
Okay.
truthfully, I haven't looked at it since then because I'm working on a Christmas stocking that I have to finish. But I
When
was
you're ready to
coming in-
take it out, send me a picture because you can even, depending on how big it is too, you can elongate your stitches. So on this one, you're going over 2, but depending on the size of your canvas, you might be able to go over 3.
Okay,
You know, that type of thing. So, and there are lots of different Bargello patterns. So when I look at it, we can say, well, this pattern might work.
better. Okay.
You know what I mean? And then, but I've used it more than I thought I would use it. They used to use it a lot for pillows and things like that. And now you're seeing it in little spaces too, because it's great for big spaces because it does move quickly. So that is
Okay.
the first one of the day. Okay. The second one is Melanese, which reminds me of food. Like chicken Melanese, yeah, veal Melanese. All right, this is a diagonal stitch and it sets up a little bit differently. Okay, with this one, I always start with the very top. So when you're doing your first grouping of this, it looks like a little triangle. Okay, and if you're going to go all the way down with the same pattern, it is over 1. Well, it's 1 stitch, then over 1, then over 2, then over 3. Over 3 holes, that is. And then you're going to repeat the pattern again. And you're going to do it all the way across your canvas. And I usually start in a place where I know I can get the full row because you do have a little bit of compensation. But I usually start in a place where I know I can get the full design. And then I work my way from there. Because what you're doing on this one is you're going to take it for the second row and you're gonna reverse it. So where you have your longest stitch, the one next to it will be the shortest stitch. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so when it's completed, it's gonna look like this.
So when you started on that one, Michelle, like which part of the star did you put it
I
in?
tend to go
guess?
into the middle and work my way out. Okay.
Oh, you start in the middle and then go out. Okay.
Yeah, and that may be the wrong way to do it. But I break lots of rules.
What do you mean by that?
That's, I mean, that makes sense because you want to start in a place where you can get as full a
Let's
row as possible.
Start here. Yes. In order to give you what you need.
She meant like, I'm like, okay, that makes no sense.
Well, no, you would, I would actually start, I would start like right here, because on top there,
Okay.
you can get your full, as long as you can get your full pattern in,
Okay.
you're good. And then as you move down, you're gonna, because then I would take this row and go all the way down,
Yeah, okay.
okay?
Mhm.
All right, so that's the Milanese or or am I pronouncing it well? I don't know, Milanese, whatever. And then my all-time favorite stitch today. And you can use these in multiple places if you want, or you can not use them. You can, when we did the turtle flag, we had a lot of people who did, they waited until all the stitches were out because there was like 50 stitches. And then they chose 12 to give it some continuity or whatever. And these canvases are big, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You have 25 squares. So you do want to use the same one a couple of times. And it doesn't matter where. Or you may want to use the same one 5 times. Or you may not want to use one that we give you. It's all up to you. Because why? Because a guide is just a guide. That's going to be on my gravestone. So the next one up is the Moorish Stitch, which happens to be like my all-time, I think it's one of my all-time favorite stitches. And I don't know why, because I know it's weird. I can't do the Nabucco for the life of me, but I can do this stitch in my sleep. So what I do with this one is I'm going to start out with the dark part in this one.
This one I couldn't see.
Mhm.
So I'm going to start out with the darkest part, and I'm going to do it. So it's almost like a modified mosaic that you just did, or modified diagonal mosaic, except for you're going over one stitch, then you're going over one, then you're going over two, you're coming back over one, and then you going over one stitch. And then you're repeating that pattern all the way down. Once again, if you can put yourself in a position where you're going to have a full row of it, it's going to make it easier for you to do the next row. The next row is continental. On either side, on both sides of it, it's continental. And those little over one stitch, not over one hole, but over one stitch, is going to go all the way down. Okay, on both sides. And then you're going to start your pattern. But what you'll note is that when you restart your pattern, that the longest stitch is going to be, if you have a short stitch in your first row, and then you have your continental, then your next stitch is going to be the longest stitch. So it creates that type of pattern.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I
And
see.
I will do a demo for this. She does not have it on hers. But I will do that one this morning and get that off to you. But I did send you pictures of it in color. You can do it with one thread, or you can do it with 2.
Need two colors.
Two colors. Mhm.
Okay.
It's one thread.
Okay.
Your choice. And that's why when I gave you diagrams, I gave you with two different colors, and then I showed you one that had the same color all the way through. And what it does is it kind of gives it a little bit of texture. And to me, I kind of think of it as a diagonal mosaic on steroids. But it's really pretty when once it's done. And that too is another really good one for a background, especially in a background where you're not looking for, you're not looking to recede or come forward with anything. You know, just something that's fun. I think that's where that's definitely where it can play in really well. And those are your 3 stitches for today.
Good.
Any questions?
I'm sorry, are we working in the stars this week?
Yes.
Okay,
And Jean, don't worry about it because I can guarantee that people are still working on the
Oh.
crosses, and people are still working on the
Some of us are just on the background.
well, exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, dear.
So I don't know if this is a.
I ordered a stand.
Say that was the end of your
It's
star.
helpful to have the stand for this, for sure.
Nettle?
Mhm, mhm. So Lisa just brought up, if you're working in a star with the Moorish stitch and you're at the end of your star, do you just fill it with continental? And the answer is yes. So, because sometimes you're going to have compensation, and typically when you have something that's compensating, you're usually going to use a continental because there's no way to handle it any other way. Even with your mosaics on your crosses, you still had areas where you were, you had to do an extra one, you could only fit one stitch in there. So that's called compensating, and what you end up doing is adding that at the end. And then what Andrea did, if you guys are feeling gutsy and you haven't done the outer parts of your background, she also took a stitch and did a stitch in those outer parts of the background.
Ooh.
Okay, any stitch you wanted that would be easy to work. And honestly, things like mosaics work. Oh, she did do a Moorish stitch. Well, aren't you clever? Right there, she did a Moorish stitch.
Wow.
Oh,
That's pretty.
well, that's neat.
Yeah. So there are ways to do, so you can take a stitch and do that. She did a Melanese in one of the little background, one of the little end pieces.
Yeah.
Okay, what else does she do? Oh, she did it twice because she did it down here, which is easier to see.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
Yeah, I wondered about those.
she did what?
Did she do it 4 times? Like at those?
No, one, two, it looks like she did it twice. Yeah, so you can do that if you want
Yeah,
and
that's
play
neat.
with it.
So Michelle, I noticed that she picked up the black and
She
the
picked
things
up the
around-
dark green in hers. I did not
Right,
pick
I
up the
get-
blue on the right here.
yeah, I noticed. Yeah, and I noticed it on our chart, our canvas, but I wasn't
didn't
sure I
do
wanted to take. Thank you. I
I
think
didn't
I've
do
already
it.
gone over it once.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Especially on especially on the blue, I just like went, not happening.
Yeah.
I think it looks fine on the green, but don't feel like you have to do it.
Good. It just seemed like something that wasn't needed when we were doing so many other little things all around it.
Absolutely.
Good.
Okay. Any other questions?
So we have 5 rows of stars.
Mm-hmm.
How many, are we gonna get 2 more stitches so that we're gonna do every row the same if we want to? Is that how it's gonna work?
You're gonna get, several more stitches.
Okay.
You're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're probably gonna get about another dozen stitches,
Wow.
Oh,
okay?
Okay.
Good.
That way you have the ability to choose what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
A dozen more or a dozen in total?
What?
A dozen more stitches
Mhm.
or a dozen in total?
No, a dozen more. And you can choose which ones you want to use and which ones you don't want to use. And if you need more, if you decide you want more afterwards, okay, I'll give you more. I'm all about options. So because this lends itself to be a sampler of
Yeah.
sorts, there's
Yeah.
no need to actually do something, look at it and say, well, I want this to recede or I want this to come forward because of what it is. So why not have fun and use it as a sampler to learn new stitches? And so you're going to get at least another dozen. You could end up with 16 more. And it's just enough to give you the ability, because you can play with these stitches, and some of these stitches you can play with and you can alter them a little bit, or you can, add, like she added color in a couple of them. So you have the ability to do that as well. You might try a couple stitches and say, I'm done. I want to do Bargello all the way through. Okay. And that would be fine. So it is, it's all about playing with the stitches. And if something, and I've said this before, if something doesn't work for you, don't get frustrated, move out, walk away from it. And I know it's common knowledge that Nabucco and I are just not friends. So Andrea will be teaching that one.
She's going to use that for a background.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So we will meet next week. Jean, Andrea is going to call you. And Sam, you're going to send me over that piece of paper, and then I'm going to take a picture of the piece for you, Jean, and I'm going to have Andrea fill in the blocks as well and get that over to your email.
Okay, great.
Okay. And have fun practicing these stitches. Some of them, you're going to find 1 or 2 in this group that you're absolutely going to love, and that's going to be a go-to stitch for you. And that's the beauty of learning new stitches, is that somewhere along the line, something's going to go, there's a light that's going to go on, and you're going to like, okay, this is a dream for me. And I'm just going to use it in as many things as I possibly can. So,
Okay, well, and helped. I can't tell you. It came yesterday and I could not do the diagonal mosaic at all. I mean, I just like never putting it in the right hole. And then I had it on a stand where I could clip a light on it, and all of a sudden I just whipped it out last night.
Right.
Yay.
Yes,
Hey.
the stand really worked for me.
yeah. And it works for me too, because you now have both hands, right? And it's not
Yeah.
propped against your lap. You don't have a pillow here and you don't have a pillow there. And if you're lucky, you don't have a dog and a cat there either.
Mhm.
And you can focus on it and not worry about it. It's amazing how something so little can make such a big difference sometimes.
I'm holding the frame with a light clipped onto it,
It's a lot.
magnifying glass, and I'm trying to stitch, and it was just like, so
Yeah.
the stand made a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Yeah, I love my stand. So I'm glad that it made a big difference. And like I said, it's take your time with these. I mean, not all of us are Andrea and can be a turbo stitcher. But that's okay. That's the beauty. Although I know Linda works fairly quickly as well. Mhm,
Yeah, I do.
mhm.
So Jean, what kind of stand did you buy?
It just went off of Amazon. It says it'll hold like the frame, and it'll hold like an embroidery hoop
And does it sit on the table or on the floor?
on the floor. And it
Okay.
comes in a box about, well, maybe 15 inches high. It's got a million little pieces that go together. I mean, when it folds up very compactly.
Pat, when you're here, I'll have you try the floor stand. You can take it home and try it.
Okay, that'd be
Okay.
great.
I have a
be
demo in the
great.
store that I let people take home overnight and try it if I know them.
Okay,
See,
Okay,
the
That'd be
stand ad, it was for like rolling the canvas.
yeah.
oh, okay.
We could have adapted it, but my husband said, please just order it so I don't have to figure it out.
Because I have a table stand, but that's what it has, those roller bars on the end of it.
Mhm.
And I bought it on Amazon. All the instructions are in Russian, and PS, it's still in the closet from 3 years ago. So,
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. Mine is would it be Edmonds?
Yes, Edmonds is
Oh,
a good
yeah.
one. The one we sell in the store is the System 4. And it's the only one I sell in the store because they have a lifetime guarantee. And they are fairly, even the ones that are not portable are fairly portable. So, and it, I can move it anywhere in the house. So and there's a lap one, but there's also, I recommend the floor 100%.
I have
Especially
to-
when you get into bigger places like this. So,
I have
I'm gonna back Michelle up because I have both the table of that System 4 and the floor frame. I use the floor frame for everything. It got to be, that table thing, I didn't use it on a table, I used it on my lap and it was pretty heavy. So
it is heavy. This is the
floor
table
frame
one.
is wonderful.
This is the table one.
Oh, boy.
And it's good
That's-
when you're beading and stuff like that, but it's also smaller. Okay. So, I mean, you could do a bigger one, but I don't sit at a table when I needlepoint.
Yeah.
I sit on a couch. So, which now has a dent in it from my butt. So,
With the frame, I have to sit at the table because I
mhm,
can't really hold it on my lap. So,
right. So this will make a difference for you.
okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
ladies, if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to work with these wonderful ladies here and I will get the tutorials up in the next day.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I won't see you tomorrow, but I'll see you in person later in the week.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.